Hello to all. I hope you are all working fine. This is going to be the first video of HIS framework, where I will discuss the HIS framework in its nascent stage, and we can have good discussions with proper documented facts in our subsequent videos. So this is about how what strategy should I make or what framework should I make so that if I implement those frameworks or those strategies, my product is selling at a good pace, or or I would say that the customer itself starts buying their product. How you can make this happen? So there are many frameworks and strategies built by many various other people, but I will deep down into the very core strategy or the core level at which things work, and this is where his framework comes into the picture. Now, his stands for habit, identity, senses. So combination of these three creates a framework. And upon this framework, you can build various other framework with as much complexities as possible, which uh, provides you a greater in-depth analysis as well. तो अगर हम देखें तो हैबिट क्या होती है एज वी ऑल नो द रिपीटेटिव अनकॉन्शियस actions actually unconscious or unaware. You're not aware when you do the habit. So for for example, when you're eating the meal, you're not aware about, let's say, your pizza slice. So you have picked this pizza slice and you start eating. When you do this, you're not aware about this action. It is happening automatically. You can call it a muscle memory, but essentially it's happening unaware. So this is also part of a habit. So how you eat is a habit. So repetitive unaware action coupled with instant gratification and dopamine rush gives you the formation of habit. Not necessarily dopamine rush in a constructive way. It can be in negative as well. For example, there are people who just pluck their uh, hairs. This is also a habit. It does give them a sense of, so pain also can give dopamine rush in terms of spite of pain. This is this is why few people start poking needles in their hands. So this is the first example of habit, and the only example for now. The another aspect is identity. So what is an identity? Identity is something which you hold within. So it can be, let's say, your national identity. It can be your religious identity or cultural identity. It can be your brand loyalty. It can be a part of product-based identities. So I'm a Mac user. I'm not a Windows user. I am a uh, let's say I use a Samsung phone. I'm not an iPhone user. So this is a small nuanced part of the identity. Then as the best example is I am a Mumbai Indian fan rather than let's say Chennai fan. Chennai Super King fan. So this is a part of identity. If you go deeper into this, I am a human, and all those factors comes into the play. So the highest identity is a human, okay, and the lowest identity is myself, me. This is the pyramid of identity, and in between you can have various other roles. Okay. Then comes the senses. So senses is when it comes to senses. So everything which we perceive is through our five senses. So in case of products, it's the taste, touch, sensual, and sight. This is the TTSS, I would say. So I will name it TTSS. So TTSS is the touch, taste, sensual, sight. So this is how the senses work. We will come into this later. The another part is how you, how you can influence the senses as well. So which is known as subliminal effect uh, in the advertisement industry and in the marketing industry particularly. So let us start with his framework with the help of a diagram. So in reality, your identity is at your core. Then comes the senses, and up and Then come your habit. So your habit, then come senses, and then come identity. So this is the flow, or the actual flow is actually it, it's a it's a outer to inward flow, but the real flow is identity and then senses to habit. Now let us deep dive into this action, which is known as the habit. So imagine you are doing your work and you do it continuously. The habit will form. If you do it every day, it will form a habit. Okay, but habit requires some sense of motivation, some sense of stimulus, and then comes here becomes senses. Senses are like for example, if your habit, so if you have a habit of, let's say, eating yogurt every day, yeah, or every morning, so that yogurt is giving you the sense of satisfaction, the sense of taste, you know, the sense of sight. So if you eat on a particular day and if you start eating every day, it will create a habit. And generally, you can say that things start awareness, but as things proceed, so this is the pyramid of habit. So as things proceed, the topmost part of habit is actually unawareness, in all unawareness. So you're not aware about what you're doing, but you're doing because of the repetitive action. This is the classic example of the system one and system two. If you have read uh, the the book of Nobel laureate Dr. Kahneman, he talks about system one and system two. But I'm talking about more of an unaware and aware actions. So this is the unaware action, and this is where the habits start forming. So here the things are in many ways aware, but as you move upward, your unawareness increases and your awareness decreases, and that pattern itself goes into the repetitive mode. So this is the function of habit. Then comes the identity. Identity is nothing but what you hold. So I may be an Indian, I may be an Hindu or Muslim, or let's say Jew or Buddhist, or things like that. Then I can I can be or I may be a fan of Mumbai Indians, let's say, fan, okay, or RCB. Hope it does well this year. Or I can be, you know, I can be self, self, self. What should I say? The sense of selfness. It's also part of identity. The only I exist, which is the trait of a narcissist as well. Okay. Then we come to your nationality. So this is the nationality actually. Okay. This is your fan is also part of another identity. Then the way you are is also the part of your identity, how you think, the think patterns, or the thought process. The thought process, it also comes under this identity. So this is the basic frame of identity. It creates, so it's the identity which creates the personality. Okay. So it's the I which gives to the P. Now comes the another aspect, which is senses. So senses are, I'm classifying it here as taste, touch, sensuality, SEN, and sight. Actually, I'm writing I'm just writing with the help of mouse. This is why this writing is not so good. But anyway, so what is taste? So you eat a product. This is example of taste. If you like it, it's and if you eat it sufficiently, in terms of habit. So okay, I will come this in later. So this is a taste. Then there's a touch. So let's say you certain clothes which are, when you touch it, you find it very great and soft and good. This is a sense of touch. When it comes to sensuality, that when it comes to sensuality, it is more about, if you have seen various deodorant ads, it's or the soap ads, they're actually sensuous. They're actually sensuous in nature. In fact, the Maza ad, in which there was, okay, I hope if I'm not wrong, or if I'm not mistaken, Katrina Kaif, it was more of a sensual ad rather than a drinking beverage ad. It's a fruit drink ad. The site is simply how things are presented. Okay, so this is the basic framework of things in our mind. Now, okay, okay, if you just go back, so if the another example of identity is actually, let's say, Make in India. Make in India is an example of identity. So Patanjali is great not because of its great product, but because of the identity which it holds. Ancient Ayurveda, even though personally it actually did more, uh, in general, in my understanding, it actually pharmaceuticalized the Ayurveda, which is a wrong way, because Ayurveda is never personal. Ayurveda is always personal, not generic. It's not generic in nature. It has to be personalized. Then only it works efficiently. Else it will work, it may work, but it's not in good, it is not in a good hand when it comes to the first the democratization of the Ayurveda in terms of its usage. It has to be personalized. One person, or a person, when you go to a doctor, or see, medical science is working upon certain tests, because it works on certain principles, scientific principles, but Ayurveda does not work on those principles. Hence, it has to be personalized. Okay, I'm not doctor. I'm not qualified to give all more on these things. This is my personal opinion. So, identity's example is Patanjali is the best example of identity formation. The another aspect is, made in Japan. Made in Japan made in Japan were very famous in USA in early 90s, or early or late 80s, and so on. And it was perceived as a very good quality product, even though they were good quality product, but the Japanese brand made an identity that it's a good product. Now, anything which is Japanese, you think it's a great product. Naturally, it has to be in that sense. Okay. The another aspect is, how there are many charlatans and scammers, which wear the dress code of a saint, comes into the, or in the TV, or in the TV, or all those public events. Why people believe? Because a sense of identity is there, that when a person wears the saffron, or all those attire, see, generally the saint use that attire. But if you use that identity as your own, you capture that identity, you're actually projecting yourself in that fashion, in that manner. Uh, and this is how you can. This is how the things work negatively in that specific domain. So this is the part of identity exhibit. Okay. Now comes the interchangeability. The interchangeability is that. So take for example, so take for example, let's say, mm, deodorant. Okay, deodorant. When it comes to sight, they are actually projecting sensuality. Like, if like, so here they are actually using subliminal effect. Actually, if you see consciously, uh, what is subliminal effect? I will just present it here. So subliminal effect simply means, it's subliminal advertising. It simply means that you use, it's a technique of exposing consumer to product pictures, brand name, or other stimulus without consumers having conscious aware about all those things. So let me put it this way. So if you see there, so I'm not sure whether it is Burger King or, yeah, perfect. So if you can see, mm, Hungary eat popcorn. What does it mean? So if you're able to capture, it's for you to check. I'm taking a good a very prevalent example rather than going into these stuff. So this is the prevalent example which I'm going to take. So it's an Intel Core 2 Duo actually. Now you can see what it's saying. Multiply computing performance and maximize the power of your employees. Okay, this sounds good. It is talking about the processor. However, if you can see what unconsciously or what it is trying to it is trying to portray is white man, the black men are in subdue. So white man is subduing the black men, or the black men are in awe, or they're surrendering themselves in to the white man. So this is the sense of the subliminal effect. So the another aspect is you know uh, you know here um, I'm not sure where it is. So I know what you'll think. So this is what it is. Already you can see, and there are various other things. If you go by that, so I will blow your mind away. I This is the use of the subliminal effect in a sensual way. So this is how it is working. Okay, and this is the another aspect. So if you can see that these are this is unconsciously these things are put into our mind. We are not sure whether, so you can say that, oh, I didn't took this image like that, but it is working that way. Okay, so this is what the subliminal effect actually means, and it works actually. uh, okay, then so if you take this research, so this is how it is. So if an image is, let's say, greater than or equal to 1,000 milliseconds, then our conscious mind just picked it. It's known as the supraliminal effect, or it's come to do that our conscious mind. But it is, if it is less than our threshold perception or the time frame, then it directly goes into subconscious, and it is not a subliminal effect. Okay, so the stimuli cannot be perceived by the conscious mind. This is what it is trying to convey. So this is generally done by advertisements and logos, all those things. Okay, so this is the first part of the video. I will I will make another part as well. So yeah, so we will there. I will make another part as well, but for now I will just restricting the basic framework. So the another aspect is, so deodorant we have already covered. Now comes so how these three things can work. I will just give an example. The senses can be the sensuality, touch, or taste. So a burger. So, okay, let me take the deodorant example itself. So, so you've already seen the sensuality of the many X videos. Okay, so that is giving you a sense of buy. So you go and buy, so that girls will like it. So this is the first phase where the sensuality plays into action. So it is taking your senses into, so there, it is actually capturing your senses. Okay, the sensual part of it. Now, so you purchase the product, and if the product is good, which means that the smell is good, the taste, touch, the smell, if it is good, then you'll buy it. Okay, and if you do it more often, so if product is good, the sensibility has created an urge to pick it, and due to advertisement and all those things, you will buy it. So whenever you buy, see, let me also tell you something. What is the addressable market for the company like X? So what was X trying to capture? It was trying to capture the youth, not the olds. And youths are always going for the relationships. Okay. And for that they have to make a person, a man should not smell all, the smelly part and all those things. So these things should not be there. So this is what trying to capture. And if product if the sensuality of the site is good, the is good, if I purchase the product, and if the smell is good, the deodorant is good, I will become a potential customer. Okay. Now, why it failed is another. Why it failed, because they didn't understand the habit and the identity part of X. Because say in India, there is something known as itra, okay, which is actually a fragrant. So they, so so actually what happened was, in a bottle, if this is a bottle, so they want the smell. They don't want an area, an alcoholic, substance which removes the bacteria. They just want smell. Okay, this is where they lost with the fog. So this is an example of a basic example of how it correlates. Now, if I use the identity, so and identity with habit formation. Okay, identity with habit formation. This is how the community building works. So community, in order to those sites or those applications which forms community, in order to have community formation, there should be a commonality, like same number of people, same number of same number of people, a group where you can find your those people which are which somehow relate with your feelings or your profession or मतलब ऐसे लोग जो आपके साथ रिलेट कर सके और आपके सेम थॉट प्रोसेस के साथ रह सकें जो उनके पास जिनका जिनका कुछ फैक्टर आइडेंटिटी सेम है जैसे हो सकता है कि बहुत सारे जो ग्रुप्स हैं वो इंडियन ग्रुप्स हैं वेर इंडियन इंडियन स्पीक आउट their politics and all those things जैसे एक Reddit for example. ओके, और उसके साथ उन्होंने एक हैबिट फॉर्मेशन कर दी है. तो दिस इज द आइडेंटिटी हैबिट फॉर्मेशन. ये आप देखते हैं जैसे कि क्या बोलते हैं कम्युनिटी जनरली कम्युनिटी एप्लीकेशंस वर्क्स ऑन दीज थिंग्स बेटर. So this is example of IH. Okay, and सिंगल डेवलपमेंट अगर आपने हैबिट फॉर्मेशन फेसबुक एक बहुत अच्छा एग्जांपल है इसका कि जिसमें उन्होंने हैबिट के साथ आइडेंटिटी जोड़ी इनिशियली देन केम द पिक्चर्स एंड ऑल दोस एस्पेक्ट्स. सो दिस इज द बेसिक एग्जांपल ऑफ द दिस फ्रेमवर्क. एंड अगर आप चाहें तो आप इन तीनों को भी यूज कर सकते हैं बहुत बहुत परफेक्टली, जहाँ पे यू आर यूजिंग these three aspects of H, I, and S in a very optimized manner, in a very efficient manner actually. अब किसी का ग्राफ कितना होगा, कौन कितना लीन करेगा, ये आपकी बात बताएगी. ये बताएगा आपको प्रोडक्ट का बिहेवियर कैसा वर्क कर रहा है इन द मार्केट. सो with this uh, with this note, I will end this video and I will come up with the detailed aspect of how these individuals and how the combination of these two or three works in the real life example. This video was just for the introduction uh, for you. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Have a good night. Thank you.